Every single business owner wants to have high, stable energy without crashes. They want to think clearly, make sharp decisions, have great memory, and just feel sharp all day so they can scale their business and do what they actually enjoy in life. But in reality, these same people are struggling day to day when it comes to their health. They're feeling wired and tired, they're getting energy crashes every day. It's hard for them to focus and actually use their brain consistently. And they're just always unstable. One day is really good, one day is really bad, one day they can handle their stress, one day they can't. It's just very, very inconsistent with their output. The main mistake I see a lot of these high performers and ambitious people make is that they care about optimizing their health. They actually understand how it's going to improve their performance. But the thing they do is they just try random things they hear online. They try a new supplement, they try a new diet hack, they try a new sleep hack, they try a new routine, they try all these random little things at different times, and maybe they try and tie them all together, but it never works in the end. I usually ask these people, did it actually fix the real problem? And eventually I get to the real answer, which is no. Like, it sort of helped a little bit, but it didn't really work. And that's because these people are trying to fix the entire system with one input. When it comes to health, there's so many variables and inputs and different systems that connect together and interact, that just trying one thing here and one thing there is not going to fix the overall system. So that brain fog or that low energy or that stress you can't handle could be coming from many different things. It's more complicated than just taking a supplement or eating a little bit differently or intermittent fasting or doing a blood test to see where your testosterone levels are. And don't feel bad if this is you. I understand you're disciplined, you're ambitious, you want to solve these problems at the root cause, right? But you're just guessing at this point. That's why no single habit will actually solve your health. Your health is a system, not a single habit or a few habits put together. There's your blood work, there's your gut health, there's your sleep, there's your movement quality, there's your stress management. There's so many things that work together at the same time, and if one is off, often you're not going to feel very well. So that brain fog, as I said, that low energy, you could be sleeping well, you could be training well, you could be eating clean. If you're not eating enough food, or maybe you have gut inflammation, then nothing's going to work. You're still going to have brain fog and low energy. So in a way, you pretty much have to have all of your internal health systems dialed in and fixed in order to actually feel clear and energized, because energy and mental clarity and high motivation and stress tolerance is a sign of good health, right? Having that consistently, not one day on and 3 days off, right? I'm talking about consistent, high quality health will give you these results. Another example, you could be eating very clean, you can have very strong gut health, you could be moving very well. If you're sleeping 6 hours a day, you're not going to feel that sharp because your recovery is built, your hormones are built. That is the base and foundation of your health, right? So that's just one example. Another example most people don't understand is if your gut is inflamed or leaky, which is not uncommon, you could be eating the best quality foods in the world, you could be sleeping very well, training very hard, managing your stress, but your foods are literally not able to get broken down, digested, and the nutrients won't get actually absorbed properly into your body. You could be eating the best quality foods in the world, organic, pasture raised, grass fed, the best of the best. But if your gut is inflamed and leaky, or even if you're just eating while you're in a stressed state, your body's not able to break down the food and digest the nutrients in it, therefore affecting all of your other systems and affecting your hormones and your body composition and all these kind of things, right? Some people, they're doing a lot of the right things, but their circadian rhythm is just all over the place. They keep changing when they're sleeping and waking up, so they're never able to feel 100% sharp. So if they just actually fix that with getting morning light and avoiding light in the evening, that's like their final key in the box. That's the final thing that's going to make them feel very sharp consistently. A big mistake I used to make was I was eating clean, training hard, I was overly stressed, but I would do intermittent fasting and I would have a pretty big lunch, and that would just completely ruin my day. I'd get the biggest blood sugar crash and my brain would be completely written off after lunchtime. So the key thing to understand is you don't fix the entire system by just guessing and adding random things. You start by finding what's the bottleneck and addressing those inputs and actually fixing it, therefore affecting your entire health system and giving you the outcome that you want to actually feel energized and focus well so you can scale your business or just focus on whatever you want to do. It's kind of funny because the same people I speak to are super disciplined and logical, and they use testing and data when it comes to scaling their business, but when it comes to their health, they're extremely impulsive and just trying random things here and there. And sometimes they get the right plan, but they don't follow it because they can't integrate it into their busy lifestyle. The real process on restoring and optimizing your health is not by guessing, and it's obviously through testing and using real data. For example, a VO2 max, a DEXA scan, a gut health test, blood work, sleep tracking. These kind of things give you real input, give you real data to understand where you're at, what the bottlenecks are, as in what are the main things you need to fix. It's going to give you the most ROI and energy, and then how to actually address it. So I just mentioned step 2 and step 1, but step 2 is to actually identify the bottleneck. So for some people, it's their sleep, For some people, it's how much they're eating. For some people, it's their gut health. For some people, it's just how they're structuring their day to mitigate and manage stress, right? Everyone has different bottlenecks. I've worked with dozens of entrepreneurs by now. A lot of people have similar ones, but it's often quite different from person to person because we all have different biology, a different situation going on, right? And the third step is integrating the system into your already busy and chaotic schedule, right? We want to intertwine it into your life. You're just going to put the inputs in a way that's simple and easy to follow, because the reason people don't follow things that are actually going to help them is because it's either overcomplicated or it's confusing or it just takes too much time, right? The trick to this, to doing anything, getting in shape, growing a business, it has to be simple and sustainable and actually fit into your life and become automated like a system. So everything has to be connected. Your nervous system is being balanced, your gut health is being repaired, your sleep is being optimized. All the things are being optimized, right? Obviously prioritizing the main bottlenecks, but it's integrated into a lifestyle that you can still scale your business without it taking you hours per day. You still have a fucking life. You don't become a healthy hippie nerd that just hangs out in the grass and takes his shirt off and walks around all day, right? And so if you follow this, you will stop being that person who's just trying random protocols you hear online when you scroll and you find a new health hack and diet hack, and you stop feeling confused and trying these hacks, and then it leading you back to the same spot where you have brain fog and low energy and you can't handle your stress and you can't sleep properly and you're not in the best shape you can be. You know, it's just this vicious cycle and this vicious circle that I see over and over and over again. So actually have the mindset of understanding that you need to figure out what is a bottleneck for you, not for these people that you see online, right? There's millions of health tips and things you can do for your health. There's millions, there's so many things you can do. You need to understand what you need to do in your situation, in a priority, and then actually build it into a lifestyle that you can actually sustain forever. Once you do this, you wake up knowing you're going to get great sleep. You wake up knowing that you're going to feel sharp in the morning. You know you're going to feel sleepy in the evening. You know you're going to gain muscle and lose fat. You're just confident that you're going to get the results. Just like having a business that gives you results. You know, if I make this many videos and I send this many messages, I'm going to get this result. You can have the same sort of mindset with your health. You just understand you can control your body. You understand that when you do this, you're going to feel this way. And the reason you feel like this is because of this, right? This is something that I spent years trying to understand because I was so annoyed and not feeling sharp. And that's what happens. If you guys saw my Whoop band, like my average recovery over the past month has been high greens, right? My average sleep has been like 85 to 95%. I understand if I ever feel off, okay, I'm probably dehydrated, or I probably did this, or I do a blood test and I figure, okay, my thyroid is a little bit underactive. It's all very simple once you use real data and you understand what's actually going on, right? And this is what took me years to understand, because I was that guy constantly burning out day in and day out. I put so much on my plate. I was always in fight and flight mode. I was trying all the random hacks. I was getting shiny object, you know, I'm gonna try this and then that supplement and then this and then that. And then, yeah, eventually I did realize this exact system that I help people with today, which is just using data, figuring out what's actually going on, and then addressing the plan, right? If this whole process seems overwhelming, confusing, or you can't be bothered doing it all on your own and you want me to do it for you, do the testing, understand the plan, identify the bottlenecks, and build it into your busy schedule, then you can message me the word health on Instagram. My link is in the bio. But yeah, I hope you guys found that useful. Speak to you in the next one. Ciao.